Living your life by multiple choice is actually not living your life with any choice. My name is Desiree Shaw. Welcome to my channel. Please like and subscribe and share. What do I mean living your life by multiple choice is actually living by default. Now, as humans, it's common that we find ourselves in predicaments and circumstances where we have a limited amount of options. So we base our lives based on these options. We have a multiple choice. That actually isn't a choice. Okay, you ever had an exam and there's multiple choice and it was always the easiest one to get through because you can only choose one of the right answers and then you had the other wrong answers. Okay, now when we live life this way, we are actually living by default based on the circumstances and situations that we have in front of us. We're actually not living, we're surviving. When you live via default, you base your decisions on the people around you, your peers, your family, whatever circumstance you are in, and you are unable to see outside of what you are currently involved in, which means that your decision making is going to be based on wherever you are standing at that time, which actually doesn't allow you to open yourself up to many opportunities because it keeps you hindered and stuck. It's common for us to do the things that we think that we should do based on our families, based on what has been done before us, and not actually take into consideration that we are capable of thinking and doing a lot more. Now, not thinking by multiple choice looks like this. It's embarking on the things that you actually want to do and that you think you cannot do because there has never been anybody that actually done it, or somebody did it kind of like that and you want to do it kind of like this, but you're kind of worried that it might not work, so you choose out of the multiple choice options that you have before you because you don't want to make a decision outside of the box. Now that's surviving. Now we don't have to survive anymore. We live in a society where we can actually live. And living actually means making the choices that create your opportunities, that build you towards where you actually want to go. Living by multiple choice is living by default. And living by default is full of constraints. Now, the only thing that really can constrain you, well, there are two things that constrain you really. That's going to jail or not being alive. So if you are able to choose because you're in a situation where that's not your reality, then you don't have to survive. You can actually live. You can actually choose to live. But the fact is, most of us don't choose to live. We actually choose to survive and thus choose the multiple choice option of life. There was a time when humans had to live based on their primal instinct and we had to survive using the three F's: fight, flight, freeze. And this is what controlled our emotional responses to danger. So fight, basically, that's when you knew you had to attack or defend your village or your home or from any form of attack of a beast that would just be wandering. That makes sense. Or freeze, stand really, really still because the enemy is walking past and they can't see you disguised as a tree. Survival. Okay? Or flight, where you run for your life. Now, they all have their place. Okay? But they do not serve us in this day and age, day-to-day living. What they actually tell us is that we are under attack. And when you think you're under attack, your body does a lot of things to preserve itself. Now, those people around us who are suffering silently, who are actually hiding their depression, their anxiety, their shame, their suffering, their domestic abuse, their breakups, their whole mental image and idea of themselves, are actually living those three things on a daily basis. They're fleeing from the scene of the crime as fast as they can. They're lashing out, they're fighting, or they're freezing and not making a single choice because they are too scared to. Therefore, they choose by default. Now, this is living in a multiple choice. When you live via multiple choice, you do not give yourself the opportunity to choose, and you do not give yourself the opportunity to actually allow your mind to think for itself. It's common to not want to do things because somebody else hasn't done it in our peer group, or we're worried about what somebody's going to think of us. That's really, really common, but you're choosing by multiple choice, okay? And we don't have to choose via multiple choice because we all are wonderfully, amazingly and perfectly perfect, and we all have the ability to choose. And making the choice is what separates us from the animals, because we don't have to live like that. We can actually choose. Your thoughts are basically words that you tell yourself on a daily basis, okay? That's what your thoughts basically are, words that you tell yourself. What are you thinking about you? What are you actually telling yourself? Are you constantly telling yourself that you can't? Are you constantly telling yourself that you're hindered? Are you constantly singing a theme song in your head in the form of your thoughts that actually hinders you and constraints you, and therefore you choose by default? Now, this is common. There's many of us living this way, okay? It's very, 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 very common, but you don't have to, yeah? I'm a psychotherapist, and one of the things I learned in my practice of CBT is that it's scientifically proven that our thoughts actually control the way we behave. Some of us believe our emotions get the better of us, but actually it's which comes first, the chicken or the eggs, the thought or the emotion. Emotions are way too big to control. They're way too big. But with each emotion that you feel and how it intensifies, there will be a thought, and it will grow and it will grow. You have the actual power to decide how and what you are thinking and how and where it grows. Now, that's not choosing via default. That's not choosing via multiple choice. That's choosing outside of the box. So this is not the bit where I tell you I can help you live that wonderful dream life that you've always wanted to live. Absolutely not. What I can help you do is deal with the reality that you're in, okay? Because we all live in reality. We're in the real world. And I can actually support you manage the behaviours and the emotions and the thoughts without it causing you any disturbance, any unrest, and it places you in the driving seat where you take full responsibility and full control of you and how you deal with you. For more information, visit my website www.shoretherapy.co.uk and sign up to the email listing for the newsletter Imperfectly Perfect, because we are. And in that newsletter, I will explain and give tips on how to manage certain big emotions, breakups, divorce, anger, depression, anxiety, all the above emotions, plus many, many more. If you want information, just come and hit me up on my Facebook page or email me on my website. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel.